Another session of the day, Paperless Credit, enabled by ScoreMe. Mr. Mrinal Singh, President ScoreMe Solutions. Mr. Mrinal is a postgraduate with over 2 decades of experience of having worked in BFSI and MSME space in the spectre of business information, data credit rating, and now the fintech space. He was earlier associated with organizations like Dun and Amp, Bradstreet, and Acute Ratings. In his current role, Mrinal spearheads the alliances domain for ScoreMe, leading a team tasked with providing lending-enabling solutions to the BFSI sector. Dear partners, members, give a huge round of applause for Mr. Mrinal Singh.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon to everybody. I think as we move in the day, we've been, just a brief background, as mentioned by the host. Over the last 20 years of, having worked very closely with the banking space, it amazes me how we have evolved from the processes that had been there, and especially in the public sector space. We even when private banking started, technology was always associated with them. It was very easy to relate technology to private sector. But in reality, if you look at how even the public sector has adapted to technology, it's an amazing story on by itself. What we at ScoreMe try and do, and in the previous discussions, if you see even the discussion that was happening on open banking, the last panel that was there, everything points to the fact that the essence is to move ahead and try and make lending, utilizing services as simple as possible for a customer. However, there is an element when we talk about lending where everybody wants to try and do the best to help it become digital, help it become easy, help it happen at the tab, at a phone. Simultaneously, there is need to ensure that the lending is still not reckless. Now, where we come in as ScoreMe is to try and enable this paperless journey by providing inputs into the entire mechanism to try and help and ensure that when you lend, you still have enough due diligence done at the background to take that informed decision. So what we do is in the space of creating, paperless lending, there are different activities, there are different stacks which come in, which help enable this whole process. And as ScoreMe, we have in-house platforms divided, if I could say, into 2 stages. One is we provide digital lending platforms, which is an end-to-end solution right from onboarding till disbursement. Second is we provide API-based stacks to help existing customers who have their own LMS, LOS systems to try and integrate these and be better informed when they lend. This is a bit about why ScoreMe. We are actually, led by or promoted by a company known as Research in India. As ScoreMe, we are 7 years, 1 day old, but the company that promotes us is into investment banking and debt syndication, etc. They have a history of around 15 years plus. What we try and do is we bring unstructured data onto platforms and provide the end result in the form of different APIs, different formats of reports which can be used by lending institutions to take calls. This is our leadership board. We have very eminent ex-bankers, and especially people who actually have been a part of the digital journey for India as a part of the board that leads the company. These are the solutions that we try and offer. So, converting. So the concept of ScoreMe actually in 2017 happened because the government of India, through one of the Ministry of MSME, used to run a rating scheme for the small industry. It was an MSME rating scheme. The government used to subsidize 75% of the rating cost. However, because this was for the small sector, the problem was that most of the time balance sheet based lending, the ratings used to come out which were not, in line with what used to be the expectation of the customer. So that's when ScoreMe at that point of time had thought about a way whether lending can happen based on cash flow. That did not translate into any, favorable proposition with banks at that point of time, because banks always believed that you need balance sheets, you need 3 years profitability, etc., and only then you will lend. But the concept of ScoreMe was sown at that point of time. And the first product that actually came out of the stack was the bank statement analyzer, where all, monthly bank statements are actually analyzed to try and give an output, which helps you understand the real movement of money with a customer. Not just his, balance sheets should be helping you take a decision, but the real. So today you see there are a lot of banks where lending and the fintech companies or the, NBFCs who are lending in this space generally take their calls non-balance sheet based on these suite of activities that are there. So bank statement is one, you have GST, MCA data fetch, which gives you financial statements. We also do ITR, which is consent-based. So some of these products necessarily are consent-based. Some of these offerings are either consent-based or from the open source that is there. This is the entire data analytics stack that you get from ScoreMe, from a bank statement analyzer to even the bureau input to legal. So whatever you might want to look at while lending to somebody or lending to an individual or a company, this entire stack can come to you. And you can integrate all this into a report customized for your needs, which is essentially you could even try and do that to integrate with your own CAM reports that you have, where once you have all this coming your way, you are in a better position to try and take a call on what you need to do with a customer's proposal. There's just some snapshots as to how it looks. So these are all Excel-based reports. These are not PDF, which cannot be edited, which you cannot, try and mix and match. These are all Excel-based sheets that come to you. Legal data is something which all the courts are online today. There's data available for everything, right from tribunals to local district courts, where we pull out and try and, give you informed. And these are the KYCs. Basically, when you're onboarding a customer, these are KYCs that can come your way by way of API integrations or through Sandbox, whichever is the requirement. Right from bank account verifications and penny drop to even utility bill activities you can get on it. For company data, this is a stack that is available in it. So they are close to around, if you go by the number, there would be close to around 70, 80 different kind of KYCs that are possible to get through the whole system. So even today, in fact, as recent as just last week, there was a bank, a PSU bank actually, which was asking us whether you can verify the UDIN number that comes along with balance sheets which are signed. Now, they have had experiences where the UDIN numbers that were being put in, that was being generated at that point of time, did not turn out to be right. So even those services are available. So these are different kind of situations in which the ScoreMe proposition can come into play. Then we have the digital lending platform. Now these are in-house. So you'll see in our customer list, there are some banks which you will see. When you go onto their websites and go to their digital lending, either GST Sahay or Mudra or anything, the white labeling is, the background is ScoreMe, the front end that you see as the white label with the bank that is there. This is essentially just an illustration of what feeds into a digital platform and how the journey would proceed from there. And actually there is no human intervention in this whole process. It's completely end-to-end, right from release of a sanction letter is all on the digital base that can be there. What we have seen, this is an illustrative assessment of how much you can move once you move to a digital processing parameter. These are just some of these synopsises that have come through it, which tell you how much of digitization can lead to what kind of paperless activity that you get. Some of the banks that we work with banks, credit rating agencies, information service providers, but majorly banks and NBFCs. Different journeys that they have opted for to go ahead. PSU banks, of course, it's a bid-based system that gets into play. But NBFCs, etc., we integrate directly also. Just an illustration, these are the customers that we work with, and it's an evolving space. Again, everything here is digital, like what we have been talking about all this while. And the way the digital space is evolving, or the fintech space is evolving, companies like us that are there, we are also getting on to ourselves. Today before coming here, we were having a discussion about the co-lending platform, how these stacks are going to play into co-lending platforms that are available or are being built on both sides, the bank side as well as the NBFC sides. So thank you very much. This was a small illustration of what ScoreMe as a fintech partner is capable of helping lending institutions do. And I'll be happy to interact post this session if you're around. Thank you.